So, y'all ready for this? Yeah. Our next guest is an actor, reserve law enforcement officer, and former Mr. Universe. Since 1977, he has become synonymous with the Incredible Hulk, a role he has returned to several times in film and animation. Please welcome Lou Ferrigno!
Good morning.
Good morning.
Nice, it's in my backyard here. I live about 3 hours from here, and it's nice to have a great convention here in San Jose.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? About maybe 60 years ago, I used to go to buy comic books. I remember I went to the comic book store. I said, I want to buy some comic books. They say at the back of the store. I said, why in the back? Because I was a weirdo. All I did was read comic books. So I went way in the back, and this guy apparently had a big hammer. He was showing me that he swings the hammer around for exercising. So I'm looking at all these different comic books, and he's swinging his hammer, and I'm saying to myself, I hope he's not going to hit me, because I'm in the back looking at different comics. Yeah. And then, fast forward, look what we have today. We have a comic convention. Everybody reads comics. Everybody wants to be have a superhero connection. It's amazing how it changes. If I knew there was a convention like this when I was a kid, I would have camped out for 6 months before. Seriously. Yeah. It's so exhilarating, and thank you for coming. This is really wonderful. It's a great show this weekend.
Oh, it's so wonderful to see here. And just real quick, let's right off the bat, thank you. You have been so kind to the fans over the years, and all the appearances and stuff like that. And this crazy thing you did, okay, off your Mr. Universe, all the accolades deserved for that. But this crazy role where you got the green makeup and the headpiece and everything on else, and everybody still appreciates that so much, and it helped move the needle. We wouldn't enjoy the features and films today if it hadn't been for you and Bill and all the creators behind that role. So you are a very, very important point in the evolution of geek culture. And thank you for that.
You know, back in 1977, I was training for the Miss Olympia competition, and I was in my best shape. It was like 6 weeks before. The phone rang, and they said, we have an audition for the Incredible Hulk. I looked at the phone machine and said, you gotta be kidding. I said, I have to win the audition because nobody can play the role better than me. At the time, they were using a big guy named Richard Keel who played George and Jimmy Bond, didn't fit the part. So they shot the whole pilot with me. At the time, Captain America and Spider-Man failed at the TV series. So they were banking on the Hulk. And I was very nervous because they gave up winning the Olympia that year. But then when it came on the air, it became a huge global hit. But it's funny back then, you know, the makeup took like 3.5 hours. It wasn't like today you had to spray. In those days, they had like a ball of clay, they would spray water and rub it in. Then the face, they had a nose and forehead piece, and then grease makeup. The whole process took like 3.5 hours. You wonder why I was so pissed. And then you had the eyes and the teeth. But you know, it was beautiful. For the episode, every episode had a lazy and compelling message about life. Even today, you learn something. I've had a lot of different celebrities that have been on the show over the years, big name. It's been a beautiful 5 years.
No, it absolutely, and you're right though, it was a human story. I mean, yeah, it was borrowed heavily from The Fugitive, but that was also part of its charm. And as a kid myself, the episode involving child abuse was the first time I'd ever really struck home for me and made that realization of that. So,
are you familiar with that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the father's abuse. You can see there's one scene with the Hulk was pushing him, doing the same thing the way he treated his child.
Yeah, so absolutely. So they did not, comic book projects up to that point thought comic books were very childish. At least this took it in a reasonably mature direction, which nobody had really attempted to before. And I think that was the secret of the success. It did not disrespect the source material. It said, we're gonna do real stories, we're gonna push as far as we can on television in this time slot for this audience.
Well, at the time, Bill and the producer wanted to keep it old-fashioned because they were talking about the whole flying, jumping. We want to keep it more to the storyline, the original character. Then they're going to cartoon. Like today with the CGI, I think it's overdone.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, the dream sequence when you and Bill actually got to be on screen at the same time. How strange was that?
Well, you know, it's funny, we filmed down in the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
It was 120 degrees. I mean, I was like, it was brutal, but it was great because you had a chance to be in the scene together. And back then, if you're looking carefully as a poster, I wore like the green balance slippers. My feet would have burned off, but it was so hot, the sand was so hot. Today, they can use DGI to like, put you in the desert where it's believable. But I mean, it was great because especially in the Maui episode, the dream sequence where Bill is being threatened by the Hulk. It's a beautiful scene.
No, absolutely. And real quick, I never got a chance to ask you about this. What propelled your interest in reserve law enforcement?
Well, you see, my father was a police lieutenant. And for years, I grew up with a very severe relationship with my father, with love and hate. So, you know, dealing with the hearing issues, the speech and everything. So I was talking to the sheriff about 20 years ago. I was talking about law enforcement. I said, I'd like to do the real deal. I want to be honorary. I went to the academy, you know, the shooting, the driving, the studying. But it's been 20 years now because I want to get back. Because I grew up in law enforcement and I see what it's like because people don't realize the disrespect officers and the sheriff deputies get from the public sometimes. So to me, I take it very seriously.
Well, I'm going to go out and take some of the questions, but on behalf of everybody, thank you for your talents, thank you for your determination, your discipline, your professionalism, and performances you brought to this role, and the service you're doing, and just being the inspiration that you've become. Thank you so much.
Are you okay?
Oh, I'm good.
Just jump down.
Oh, yeah, well, I gotta get those. Hey, what is your name?
I'm Sarah Dishamana.
Oh, hey, what question would you like to ask?
Hello.
I wanted to ask about, you know how you people with disabilities act on TV and stuff, and I've seen people pretend to be disabled, and you personally do have a disability. How do you get people prompted, how people with disabilities, and not a lot of people with disabilities can get on TV?
Well, that's a good question because everyone has a disability, emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Now, for my situation, I've learned to maximize my own personal power, meaning competing with myself. Like, I don't care what the disability you have, so you have other strengths in different areas, you use that strength. For example, the naysayers would say to me, well, you have a speech impediment, you can't hear, they put on me limitation. I broke those limitations because I learned to keep people myself and maximize all my personal power. Like if I don't have perfect hearing or speech, I've learned to maximize other things, my passions and fitness. And the truth is that you never want to feel sorry for yourself because you can sell any way you want, you put your mind to it. It's all about taking action and not let the fear and limitation dominate you.
Great question. Hey, what's your name?
Christopher.
Okay, Christopher, great cosplay you got going on here. All right, what you got?
Back in, I want to say the 80s, but it was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. You were on an episode of that where he walks off the set and you're sitting in the makeup chair and you're talking to him in character and everybody's seeing the makeup come off and that was like a whole message about trying to discern, like, you know, you don't have to be afraid of the Hulk because it's pretend and stuff. How did you get on that show?
How I get on the Hulk?
Yeah, on Mr. Rogers.
Well, what happened though, I used to watch the show when I was young as a kid. I thought he was weird. Because the way he talked, he comes in, he talks like he's talking to a child, very nice, sits down. So anyway, I enjoyed watching the show because it's a wonderful show for kids. So one time I was getting ready to get into the makeup, I arrived on the set and they said to me, Mr. Rogers coming here to visit you and take you. And I said to myself, oh my God.
Surprise.
But then when he came, it was wonderful because he portrayed and revealed the character of the Hulk was beautiful the way it was done in the motorhome. I had a great time with him. He was a very intelligent guy. They filmed me the whole process of getting the makeup, out of the makeup situation. It was beautiful. So he sat in the motorhome with me, but I told him as a kid I should watch the show, and I thought you were a little strange. But he chuckled, he laughed. But that was one of the most watched episodes in television history. It was a beautiful episode. Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Alejandro. this is a question from my dad. What was it like being a part of the golden age of bodybuilding alongside the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger?
It was fantastic because back about 50 years ago, Arnold and I competed together in the Mr. Olympia in South Africa, the movie Pumping Iron. When I was a kid growing up, when I learned about bodybuilding, I worshiped, I loved Arnold because he was the first man over 6 feet to break the barrier to be a bodybuilder. But he flew from Germany, he couldn't speak a word of English. But I admired him, especially he's taking action for himself when he's done with his life. But that golden age of bodybuilding, it was beautiful because we were not making like major prize money. The first prize was like $750. That's it. That would be my food bill for 3 weeks. But back then, with the love of the sport, the camaraderie, especially that back then the public was not aware of what bodybuilding really looked like. Then when the movie came out, that put bodybuilding on the map. But the golden age was beautiful because everyone in the movie back then had personalities. Because we all worked for a living, and we came from different parts of the world, different parts of culture. It was a beautiful golden era.
Great question. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Crystal. So I don't know if you remember, 10 years ago, I met you at Wizard World, which is here in San Jose, and I would tell, and I think I told you that me and my brothers would watch The Incredible Hulk when it was on Sci-Fi on repeat. So is there a story about Bill Bixby that most people might not know about on or off set?
Well, Bill was a real life magician. He performed magic on the set. And one time he did a magic trick on me. And I think he fooled me because I forgot the details about it, but he surprised me in many different ways. He wore 4 different hats. He was a director, producer, magician, and an actor as well. But he was very witty. And one time I had never forget he performed his magic with me, and I think it was something that he made my hearing aid disappear or something. And I was getting nervous because at the time I had 2 hearing aids. I put 1 hearing aid on the counter in the motorhome. It was gone. But apparently, I retrieved the hearing aid later on, but he did at the time. I'll never forget that experience. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Kia, what you got? I love Pumping Iron. I actually have a VHS copy. I am old, but I am at peace with that. My question is, many people have referred to you as a trailblazer. I was wondering, have you found the most difficult about being a trailblazer?
Was playing to be trailblazer meaning?
What do you think is the greatest challenge you faced blazing the trails that you have?
Well, mostly with the speech. Because when I was young, I had to study phonetics because I took a marvel in my mouth to learn to enunciate the different words and everything. Because when you have a profound hearing loss, it affects your speech. And people always, they typecast me. You know, deaf Louis, deaf mute, everything like that. But I never felt sorry for myself, so I figured that just embrace my passion and be the best I can be over time because you can rehabilitate yourself, you can improve yourself. For me, that was a great challenge, and that helped me with my discipline as a bodybuilder to enable to me to achieve those dreams and those steps to be very successful.
Hey, what's your name?
Benjamin.
What you got, Benjamin?
I was wondering if you still talk to Arnold Schwarzenegger, and what did the two of you think about each other's acting careers when you both became famous for acting?
Well, recently I went to his house to play chess. and he's a wonderful chess player. He wiped me out. But what we like about each other, we have a lot of respect for each other. Because you got to remember Arnold, he came from another country, and especially have an accent. In those days, people said to him, producers, they said to him, you can never be a major movie star because you have this Austrian accent, you're from Germany, Austria, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, he respects me because what I've overcome. Because we both had similar fathers. His father was the chief of police, my father was a lieutenant. And we grew up in a very tough home. Like Arnold's father was very hard on him. Because he called him Arnold Cinderella, because Arnold had the space between the teeth. Arnold's brother was swampy, good looking, in the right home, dating women, and Arnold kind of like, the bodybuilder. So that's why we related to each other, because where we came from. Even still today, that's why we're so determined to be successful and give back, because where we came from, because we came from nothing. That's why we have that great mutual respect.
Eugene.
What you got, Eugene?
Hi, Mr. Ferrigno. Just
Hi.
want to thank you for attending this convention. I
You're
think we can all agree that we're very happy to have you here. My question for you is, off camera, did you have a chance to hang out with Bill Bixby, and what would you say is your fondest memory, hanging out with him?
Well, Bill told me he'll never forget when I first came on the set, the first day of filming. I would look at the studio and the cameras. I was like a little kid lost in a big Disneyland. But he took me under his wing because I studied watching because he was a wonderful actor. I was a big fan of him, of course, as his father, the magician, of course. So I learned to be with him, watching him, because it's amazing that he would take all the dialogue of the script and the way he conveyed to in the scene is fantastic. And he did memorize all those scenes. So I just studied watching because at the time when I was filming, I didn't know anything about acting. So I do my best to watch him and learn my cues, my lines, the lights, the film, the camera, the feet position, everything. So it was almost became like a father and son relationship.
Great question. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. What you got?
Also wonderful to meet you, Mr. Ferrigno. Thank you for all you do. I love doing Hulk, and I also love doing King of Queens. And my question was, what's a good behind-the-scene moment that you remember really well, or a funny moment you'd like to share from that show? King of Queens.
Well, you got to remember Jerry Stiller and Kevin James Lee Remini, they're iconic actors. And every time I was with Jerry would ask me to read lines with him because he was like in his 80s, he couldn't remember his lines. So they had to shoot his rehearsal. Every time he made a mistake, he would blame me. As a joke. He was such a wonderful, delight person to be with. But that's funny because sometimes I'll be singing to him practice, and then if he made a mistake, of course he would say Lou's fault behind the camera. And it made me nervous because at the time I believed him. And when you film a sitcom, you're in front of a live audience, like over 100 people, and you can't do a scene more than twice. It quits very fast. You got that instant gratification from the audience. You can't fool the audience. So it was a great experience for me with Jerry.
Thank you so much.
Great question. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Julie. So, because it took so long to get the makeup on for the Hulk, were you able to film multiple episodes at one time so that you could maximize the amount of time you were in the makeup? Or did you have to every day put the makeup on for each individual episode?
Well, every episode took 10 days to film. So usually I would get made up maybe 4 or 5 times through that 10-day period, different scenes. Sometimes I'll be in full makeup and the weather is bad, they say go home. And I'll be frustrated because I spent 3 hours getting through the makeup. And the makeup took like an hour and a half to take off. But I literally had all day long, I had to be in that makeup. I was actually in the motorhome with the air conditioning on me to keep my temperature down because of all that makeup, it raises the body temperature. And there's a lot of waiting, a lot of discipline. But I wish, like you said, I could shoot multiple episodes. But unfortunately, 7 days shoot per episode.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I agree with you. Hi, what's your name?
Robert.
Robert, what you got?
I'm a huge fan of you, so I want to ask 2 questions. Like, what was any funny moments from the Hulk, and also, like during your fame of the Hulk, did you meet any wrestlers back in the day because of your fame with the Hulk?
Any wrestlers?
Yeah.
Yeah, the funny moment is that I shot a scene, I believe with the second pilot. I had to do a scene, I had to fight a bear. So what happened though in the scene, we had to avoid the bear getting green makeup because every time they filmed the scene, I'm fighting with the bear look at the makeup. Okay. But I have a better one for you. There was a scene I had to be underwater with the bear, come up at the Hulk and roar. I remember I did the scene once, I came up roaring, everyone was laughing. I said to myself, why aren't they laughing? Because I looked to the left, my wig was floating down the river. That looked like a ball green Kojak. It was embarrassing. I wish they had that film.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Hello, my name is James. I got a question. I'm 30.
I'll hold them up.
Sorry.
No problem. What's your name, James?
I got a question for you. So, what do you think about Mark Ruffalo's performance to play as Hulk in the Avengers? Have you ever met him?
Well, he's a wonderful actor. And then what I don't like, they have different actors playing, like Evan Norton, Mark Ruffalo, because they passed on, they have different actors. He's doing a great job. I'm not happy the way the Hulk's being portrayed, because the Hulk needs to be hideous, you know, the angry, but Mark's done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hi, what's your name?
Paul.
What you got, Paul?
I used to watch your show, really loved it when I was a kid. As a person in the arts with a hearing impairment, what role does music have in your life?
Wait, say that question.
What role does music have in your life? Do you play music or?
I'm told, yeah. When I listen to music, I can't understand the words. But about 3.5 years ago, I received a cochlear implant. It's helped me tremendously. Eventually, I'll be able to learn to hear some of the music, especially now I can watch music with subtitles, and I can learn what the words. So it's frustrating for me because most people today love to listen to music. In my situation, I've always always trained, use my own imagination than listen to music. But the better my hearing gets, the more I appreciate music, because I like upbeat music, something that's stimulating. But sometimes music is everything. Like, for example, when they made the movie Star Wars, they showed Paramount Studios the movie without music. That's obvious disaster. But then when they added the music, it changed the movie completely.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name? I'll hold the mic.
Okay, sorry. Hi, Lou. Remember me yesterday? Remember my name yesterday?
He asked me as you remember his name yet. Well, what is your name?
Yeah, I met you yesterday.
Yeah, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. What's your question?
That's what I'm trying to wonder if you remember. That's why I'm asking that question, but very nice. But my question is, I know you was around a long time, but you say, I'm cheering when you said you have a hard of hearing, but I didn't know that.
Okay.
That's one. Number, what I'm saying is, in the TV show or a movie, do you have trouble having hearing stuff, what people are saying to you? And how old you started doing it on a TV show in the movie?
Okay. So, was your hearing challenges during any kind of filming? Like maybe you didn't hear a director say cut or something like that.
Oh yes, at the beginning, yes, but now it's much easier. But most of the time, I try to read less because when you have a severe hearing problem and able to listen. So for me, I use that to an advantage because most people respect that because you see, if you tell people you have a hearing situation, they respect you for it. But if you try to hide from it, you're gonna end up shooting yourself in the foot. So for me, over time, because I talk about the hearing loss, about the cochlear implant, how it helps people respect that, which is okay. Like for example, say you have back pain, you gotta do a scene or something. If you tell people about the back pain, you're gonna hurt yourself. I mean, okay. A lot of people are having hearing loss. So for me, I use that as an example to connect with people that I want them to know about my situation.
Great question. Thank you. I got a line. I gotta go. Here you go. Thank you. Hey, what's your name? Harvey. What you got?
Yeah, I have one question only. Who's better, you or Mark Ruffalo?
Get out of here.
You know the answer.
Get out of here. Yeah, have a green one, and there you go. Hey, what's your name?
David.
What you got, David?
I wanted to ask, when you were the Incredible Hulk, did you have a set workout for yourself that you had to keep yourself pumped, or was it like a regimen aside from when you would work out normally?
Well, what's interesting, when I was filming, I had to train before because I was in the makeup all day. There's no way I'm going to remove the makeup, work out, and come back and have another 3 hours. So as long as I got 4 workouts a week, I would train before, maybe afterwards. Sometimes at 2 in the morning. At the time, the guys that own Go Gym gave me the key. I would go to the gym 2, 3 in the morning after I filmed to grab a workout because then the next day I didn't know exactly what my call time would be. So, but it frustrated that because the condition I was in, it would hide most of the definition with the makeup because if I didn't have the makeup, you would see much more of the definition. So all I wanted to do is just maintain what I had because you got to remember one thing, movie is permanent. And if you show any different size, weight, or muscle changes, you notice it. So that's why, for me, if I had a minimum 4 workouts a week, I was able to keep that condition.
Awesome. Good. Thank you. Thanks, you. What's your name?
My name's Lawrence, and I'm a big fan of your show, Incredible Hulk, and I've seen you on Star Trek. What was it like being in that character, playing an Orion in the green?
Well, the original Hawaiian race is green.
Mm-hmm.
So the director at the time came to my house and said, I have a wonderful project for you. I said, really? About Star Trek, you playing Captain Kirk at the time,
Right.
the series. And he said about the Hawaiian race and character name is Zamahan. He's talking about this character I played, a slave trader of another planet that came to his spaceship to reclaim the slave. He's miserable, he's vicious, a charmer. So he said to me, the makeup's going to take about 4 hours. It's going to paint you green. I said, what you saying? So he explained to me the Hawaiian race had to be green. So here we go again. So I played the role. I had it 2 or 3 days. Now, when I finished filming, they had 4 people in the bathroom with the towels and oil rubbing together this makeup on. They used different kind of makeup. They had like a kind of like adhesive that would stay close to the skin. It was beautiful, it was done, but to remove it literally took like an hour and a half. But I wanted to play the character because it's part of the Hawaiian race. So if you get the chance, it's free online called Star Trek Continues.com, the second episode of Rolandi. Get a chance, check it out.
Oh yeah, I have watched you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
My name is Jeffrey with the letter G. My question is, in the Incredible Hulk of the TV series and movie, did you get the almost accidents, no stunt double?
Any accidents on the set of the Hulk? Any goof ups and maybe you messed up an arm or something?
No, not me personally, because we are good stunt people and stunt coordinators. I never incurred an injury, but in real life, I mean, away from the set, of course. I mean, maybe in the gym, never on the set, is very lucky.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lou, do you have any upcoming projects, anything in the works that you're allowed to share with us?
Yes, I got 4 or 5 films coming out. One of them is a horror film called The Hermit. I play a cannibalistic pig farmer that makes me 50,000 people. It's kind of like a Hannibal Lecter in the woods. I also have a movie I filmed in San Francisco about a year and a half ago called Hard Redemption. A security guard that deals with the gangs taking over the school. There's a lot of martial arts. And the other one is it's a movie I just finished last week. It's called Forgotten Fortune, about an older man. He has Alzheimer's. And tells people he saw a murder, but they don't believe him, and then eventually they find out the truth. Different film. And my recent film came out with Dean Cain and called Little Angels. I had a cameo in that one. But I'm looking forward to see this film.
Very good. And one final question. Also, after this, you'll go back to your table?
Yeah.
Go back to your table. And would you like to take a picture with this audience?
I would love to.
All right, everybody, we're going to come towards, take our Felix kind of stage selfie. If you want to come on up towards the stage.
Not on the stage, please.
Come towards the stage, put the picture of our guests, and all of you. I'll take it with mine. Okay. Yeah. Just go ahead. Yeah.
Come everyone together, yeah.
Just watch out for those tables.
After you take the picture, it could be $10,000. I feel like Napoleon here. My army.
We're Hulk leading the Avengers into battle. Oh yeah.
Come on, everybody flip. Come on.
No. Let me get the camera. 1, 2, 3, Galaxy Con.
Galaxy Con!
1, 2, 3,
Galaxy Con!
And one more, just Lou. 1, 2, 3, Galaxy Con!
One more.